And what's that?
A glove.
Hey, show it to me. It's a boxing glove.
A boxing glove.
Just what you always find in a boat, right?
Yes.
Welcome back to Up to Something Outdoors. Today, another twofer. 2 boats. And a snowblower. That's right. I bought a snowblower in July. So I went to buy this boat. The guy had it up for sale. I arrived there. It's about a 45-minute drive away. He ended up having this boat too. And he was giving that one away. He's like, you could have that one if you have a spare tire. Well, I always carry spare tires. Turns out he's cleaning out a barn, had all kinds of stuff available. So I bought a ton of stuff from this gentleman. I bought an outboard motor, a fancy battery charger, and a snowblower in July. And I'm pouring sweat. But I'm trying to think ahead for once. And this one has tracks on it. And I really want to try one with tracks on it because my driveway is not level. And it is a pain when you're trying to heft around the snowblower. So I'm going to see if I can get this bad boy going and save it for the wintertime. So I'm thinking one of us get in the boat, the other 2 set it here, and then one of us. That'll be fine. That's not horrible bad. There we go. I can say in all the boats I've bought, I've done over 250 boats now. I've never bought a snowblower and a boat together.
It's the new engine.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, you can power the boat with a snowblower.
Babe, help me get it out.
Put some water in it, shoot water out that thing like a fire hydrant, a fire hose. It's gonna be cool. But besides that, let's take a quick look. And I brought my youngest assistant out. Are you the youngest?
No.
Now, you're the middle younger human I'm responsible for to help find stuff in the boats. Let's look to see what we got. So this boat has no engine, no outdrive, and the gas tank's conveniently already mostly pulled out. So that should be nice. A little bit less work to do on it. That seat's just trashed, but a milk crate. Those are useful.
Yeah.
Let's set that out. What else do we have in here? Anything else good?
Well, we have the boat keys.
Yeah, kind of hard to do much with them without motor to go with it, right?
Hot. Yes.
All right, anything up front? Ooh, hey, jump up and down. There is no floor underneath that carpet.
Nothing up here.
Nothing up here? Okay. And it looks like the glove box is pretty empty. So this should be fairly simple and quick and easy. Just pull that gas tank out. Get some of the scrap aluminum back here out. And then it's off to the landfill for this one. That one has more goodies in it.
Yes.
Now, Morgan, do you want to go look at that one first, or do we want to work on this boat first?
That one.
You want to go look at it?
Yep.
All right, let's hop over there. So this boat had all the better stuff in it. It has an engine. We'll get to moving the snowblower in a minute. All right, anything else cool in here?
Well, we got a toolbox.
A tool bag. Anything in it?
Yep. Well, we got some pencils. And another pencil.
Looks like some staples in there and a mallet even.
Ooh, a screwdriver.
What else do we have? Oh, I see a minnow bucket there.
Ooh, a wrench. And a screwdriver.
Cool. What else do we have?
Well.
A mirror, ratchet straps, some more hand tools. Oh, safety glasses. Those are useful.
Yeah, you always have to be safety.
And a belt pouch. And what's that?
A glove.
Hey, show it to me. It's a boxing glove.
A boxing glove.
Just what you always find in a boat, right?
Yes.
See if there's another one underneath there.
Underneath here?
No, in the pile of stuff by your feet.
Oh, let's see. Hat.
No, just regular gloves and stuff. Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting stuff in this boat, isn't there?
Yeah. Boxing.
Why don't you open up these compartments, see if there's anything in them?
Ooh, life jacket.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Life jacket.
pretty worn. Looks like mice have been in there.
Yeah.
What about the other one?
Look.
More life jackets and an anchor.
An anchor? Huh?
Yeah, down at the bottom.
Now I see an anchor.
All right. Well, let's jump back to the red boat for now.
Okay.
We're gonna get that ready to go to landfill first, and then we'll work on this boat.
Okay.
Semi-decent boat seat. Keep that too. And a panel looks like for a car. Strange. All right, I'm gonna start with the aluminum on this one, just because that's what I feel like doing. No particular order on what needs to happen, but. All right, so I'm gonna start by taking this aluminum off, starting on the exhaust pipes. Now this is an old OMC, which OMC did a much nicer job than Mercruiser in my opinion, because they used all SAE stuff. This is all, this is 3/8, these are 5/8. You don't have to have any millimeters like you do with getting this off with the... Still hard to see though. Squirrel stuff. But there's a few pounds of cast aluminum. That's 52 cents a pound right now. It's not bad. All right, now we switch over to the 5/8. Come on, hop out of there. There we go. Yep. See, on OMC, they use 5/8 for everything except these two, which are 9/16. Mercruiser did 5/8 throughout, except the bottom two are 3/4. Both companies did one different. I don't know. Stainless. But that's how they did it, so those of us who scrap them just have to do it. So now all those are off. The only other things holding it on, the steering cable and the pin holding the steering cable to the arm. Now this just has a cotter pin. So pull that cotter pin out. Pull out the pin. Now this should, unless I missed something, okay, should just come right on off. Like that. So now we just pound out these bolts. It'll help us a little bit when it comes time to getting it, prying it off the outside. Go around, do a little bit at each one. Get the steering cable out of the way. The transom's so rotten on this that it's actually flexing the transom as I hit. Yeah, there's enough to pry on. Now that we had it started from the inside, crowbar will do the trick. There we go. This is old and it's just gonna be scrap metal. Now some people have been bemoaning on comments and such about why I scrapped these boats. This is why. Look at that. This is your transom. This is what's taking all the power of your boat motor. You can see how it's just flaking away because it's just plywood. And it is completely rotten, same as on this side. You could just poke it. That's why these boats are getting scrapped. Lastly, we're going to get this gas tank out. It's just held in by these two mostly broke out 2x.
What's that? A bowl?
What did you find?
A bowl.
A ceramic eating bowl in the bottom of a scrap boat. That is unique.
It's beautiful.
I will say, baby girl, you are probably finding the most coolest things in any of the boats we do. You're always the finder of interesting things. But I don't think I'd want to eat my breakfast cereal out of that. What do you think?
No.
Probably a little dirty.
Yeah, maybe we clean and use it.
You could probably use it as a play bowl.
Yeah.
All right, let me get this gas tank out, though.
Okay, I'll sit right there.
Even though it's mostly rotted, it still wants to fight me. That's just how today's gonna go. All right, looks like Phillips head screws. Rusted, rotted. Oh, come out. Yeah, no. Yeah, even this rubber is just completely shot. Alrighty, moment of truth. How full is it gonna be as I fall? Yeah, it's only about a quarter of the way full. Not as bad as some. Oh, wires. One thing I like to do before taking it to the landfill is if these come off the windshields, I'll just take them off. Not a ton of money, but there's still a few bucks in scrap aluminum here, so I never used to, because some of them are through bolted to underneath the dash and are just a royal pain to get out. But at the suggestion of a viewer, I started trying it again, and I've been able to get a bunch of them. Not all of them, but some of them. And this boat has decided to fight me every single step of the way. Sometimes they do that. It's frustrating. Now, let's see how this... Oh yeah, see, this one's riveted, and I'm going to have to drill these rivets out to separate it to get the glass out. That'd be a project for a slightly cooler day. She's a little warm right now. Could you pass me that one out, Morgan?
Yeah.
We'll save that one too and put it in the pile of to-do once it cools down a little bit. I think today the real feel's supposed to be somewhere upwards of 100. So I go around the boat pulling this vinyl trim piece out. Sometimes it comes out easier than others. Because I like grabbing this exterior aluminum if I can. Now, as you've seen before, a lot of times these aluminum pieces are held on by rivets. However, this one screws. So I should be able to unscrew it all the way around and save the aluminum. Starting with the outdrive, we're going to take these clips off. These are the best way to determine on whether or not you've got an Alpha 1 Gen 1 or a Gen 2. Pull these off, and if it's a nut holding it on, that's a nut. That's a Gen 1. Gen 2s have little like D-clips holding it on instead. Quick, easy way to tell the difference. Alright, these are always 9/16, except today, which is a 5/8. So these, it works best to take both off. Except you start spinning that side. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So first off, what we're going to do is just gently pry this one off. Okay, if you want to be careful with your outdrive, you can put a cloth there. But if you're gentle, you can get it off and generally not even mar the paint. Put a vice grip on it. Now you should be able to buzz the other side off. And then it's simply going to be the reverse. Somewhere you can get a little bit of leverage. Pop it off. Then these are going to get in the way because that's how it works. Pop that. And now you have your trim cylinders off. Next, you're going to take all of your 6 bolts off. 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. 5/8. These are always 5/8 on Alpha 1s. Now, I always have found it helpful to take these little washers off. If you leave them on, sometimes as you're pulling this off, they'll bind. Kinking just a little bit on a washer will do an amazingly big job of locking it in place. Now, Alpha 1s have this little cutout right here on both sides. Just wide enough for a screwdriver to help get it started coming off. Sometimes you can get it with just the screwdriver. More often than not, you need a little bit of a crowbar assistance. So now you just take a crowbar, just pop it out. Nice and gentle, don't need to force it normally. And then she'll slide right out, just like that. So let's look under the power bar and see what we got. I do see though, right before we start, we've got a couple fishing rod holders. I don't know if they're through bolted. Yep. All right, let's see what we got. Alrighty, 4.3 liter V6. Matches the outdrive, perfect. Guess I gotta move my tools now though. Because we're gonna be having to flip this up to get at the bolts for sure. Alrighty, so it's going to be difficult to get at those back 3/4 bolts with this on. We might have to do some demolition work to get this thing out. Because also, these are going to be, yeah, they're not too bad. Well, let's start with them. I like using extensions when I can, but I have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to on these ones. Oh, those are rotted in. Nice. Stainless steel again. This one is just free spinning in there, so that's going to be interesting. Now to the other side. I'm going to try to get the 3/4 inch bolts out without having to cut this fiberglass out. Don't know if it's going to work or not. I have a feeling it's not, but I'm going to try. Nope. Well, maybe there's just enough on that one. doesn't have much of a hold because it's at the wrong angle, but... just enough, apparently. Alright. Well, let's see if we get lucky on the second one, then. It definitely is in there tight. Yay! The less fiberglass cutting I have to do, the better. It's fun. It looks cool for video, but it's dirty. Now I'm just getting getting the bolts actually all the way out. Like so. Next is going to be the exhaust bellows. The rubber pieces coming off these. Nice little 5/16 driver helps out with this. Wonder if I can give myself a little bit more space by pulling that off. There we go. Not super exciting or glamorous, but needs to get done if you're going to get this thing out. Especially given how tight it is in here. I'm going to be having to lift up and forward to get it off. Now that we got the bolts out, we're going to get the control cables, throttle cables and such off this to pull it out. This engine looks like it's going to end up being scrapped. Both manifolds are badly cracked, but still got to get it out. But I'm going to use the expert removing tool though for this, because I'm not keeping this. If I can actually even get at the thing. I may have to take this off nicely, just because there's no space to get the magic tool down and in there. Pause it. So this is definitely the slower approach, but if you have to, you have to. Nope, not the right size. So this time we're not going to need to use the ball mount attachment for the front, because I can get the tractor a lot closer to it. I can go straight to where I need to be. Now I don't see any attachment points on the stern of the engine. The only one I see is this big one right here. So I'm going to wrap it a couple times around, put it on there and see what happens. I know there's going to be a couple cables and hoses, I just can't reach them, so I'm going to yank it and get at them. Well, that worked. I ripped the whole mounting plate right off the engine. That's a first. I mean, the engine moved, which is nice, but I literally ripped it right off the mount. Wow. That's bizarre. Yeah, just stripped it straight out. That has never happened before. Where I literally, because that's the engine mount. That was designed to pull to lift this motor up. I don't know. Now I can get at the hoses though. Got the hose. Got the sad cable. Some random other cable. And then those hoses there. And last but not least, the happy cable. So that should be everything on the engine. Now, we gotta try to figure out a way of getting this hooked up without a mounting bolt. I mean, there's different steering brackets and brackets here and brackets there. I don't really want to lift off them though. I think what I'm going to try is lifting it up off the one exhaust manifold, since I know that's also cracked. I don't know if that's going to work right, but we'll give it a try. Worked. May not be pretty, but it worked. Now let's check it for cracks. Alright, I don't know if you can notice this really small crack here or not. I mean, that's a very small crack. It's kind of hard to see. But that manifold's cracked. But I'm looking at the block and I'm not seeing any visible cracks on that side. There's JB Weld right there. Bet you that block is cracked. So now we're going to take the aluminum off. Got to get our 10mm out here to get these little bolts off. Should be 4 of them, but one of them's already missing there. I don't know about the underside. We'll find out in a moment. Should be one more. Trick is trying to find it because it's tight down in there. You can't see anything. Right there. Couple bucks more of aluminum. Now we can move on to the inner transom bracket. It's got 2 3/4 here on the bottom, and then The rest are 5/8. Pause. For expedience sake, we're going to switch it up to the impact. Well, I think there might be a problem with that bolt. What do you think? Not quite bolting right. And we switch to the 5/8 for the rest of them. Wants to be stubborn. I'll get that. Guess this one wants to get started by hand. That's my little impact. My big impact's in my truck, and my better half has the truck today, so we'll just do this the two-handed way. Alrighty, there we go. Now we got to disconnect the steering arm from the piece that actually goes out to the outdrive. It's held on by a pin and a cotter pin. Now these cotter pins, in the past, whoever's put these on at the Mercruiser factory is definitely good at their job, let's put it that way. They put these in excessively sized, but that one came out. Must have been a Monday or a Friday boat then. See if I can just get that one out. Alright, well that didn't, the cotter pin came out, but this thing wants to be persnickety now. Y'all ever had those days that things just don't go the way they're supposed to? Don't go according to plan? Comment down below. What's your day been like? This boat's been fighting me. But that's what that looks like. That disconnects this. Now, we're going to cut the steering cable itself so that I can free up this whole inner transom assembly. So that is one serious cable. Either that or my grinder wheel is getting pretty dull, because it shouldn't take that long. Now it goes to these cables here to the pump, and we should be able to get the outdrive off. There, now we should be able to get the outdrive off. And this is just gonna have to keep going on. That was definitely more work than it should be. There's some more aluminum. Now I want to tap some of these bolts out. Alrighty. Sometimes these sell, but this one's got... It's kind of cruddy, but it might sell. If not, it's a few bucks of aluminum. Now we're going to be on the search for the gas tank. This is normally a locker for like skis or whatever. But we're going to want to open it up anyway, see if there's anything cool in it. Okay, if it wants to open. We could just do it the old school method. Just paddle. Floating paddle. But also, no gas tank. So, oh, look at there. There's the gas tank. But while I'm here, I might as well get that aluminum off. Never seen one with a hinge on it before either. Different. Okay, this is actually getting a bit annoying. Normally you can just pull this piece of aluminum right out and I have to fiddle with it, but this one had all kinds of, because it was hinged, it's got all kinds of screws and such, and make it just more challenging. More challenging than it ought to be for 50 cents in aluminum. But that being said, we now know where the gas tank is, right here. And I don't know if you fine folks see what I'm seeing, but it's carpet on top of plywood over top of this tank. So, you know what that means. Time to cut it. Fan favorite, chainsaw time. I try to be careful not to go too deep on this until I know for sure how wide the tank is. So sometimes it requires going through it twice, but let's see how we're doing with this. Something's still holding. Alright, so I went a whole lot wider than I needed to. But I guess that doesn't hurt anything. Now we'll just cut these 2x out. carpet's holding it in place. Well, there we go. Now we cut the hoses and see if we're gonna get lucky on the how much fuel's in here. And it'd be nice and light to get out. Don't hold your breath. And I desperately need some new batteries, it looks like. The rubber portion you can cut with your knife easy enough. It's the steel reinforcement that makes it a little harder for that. Now that it's started, sometimes you can get around it, but more often than not, you're still going to have to do a little bit more with the grinder. There we go. Now, are we going to get lucky? Maybe. There's a lot of water in the boat still, but it kind of feels like the gas tank's not completely full. Which, if you follow the channel at all, you know is a unusual thing. Normally these things are tight and full of gas. Oh, come on. It's probably about quarter full, I'd say. Which is fine, I can still lift it. Now hopefully drop it carefully so it doesn't spill. Success. Now, all that there's left is scrap aluminum and all this miscellaneous stuff the guy left me. I am seeing a couple lights. Those are cool. Alright. Fishing rod holder. Can't have too many of those, I guess. I think the next step we're going to do is see what we can find in here for other goodies that we may want to keep. So I'm looking in the glove box here. Bungee cord. Not a whole lot interesting until I got over to the side here. As sometimes happens in boats, people leave change. See, 25, 35, 40, 45, washer, 47 cents. I'm rich. That's a front pocket find. What else do we have interesting in here? A couple minnow buckets for fishing. That one's busted up though, so we'll just forget about that one. Take that one out. Couple bins. I could use those for parts. Here's the tool bucket that was in there. Bosch ditch. Not bad. Let's see if we can put all the other stuff we find in it. So we had the tool belt pouch. Now this life jacket has seen better days, so we'll just pretend we didn't see it. We have a couple fenders. Some line. But in here is where we had the interesting stuff. Boxing glove. Because of course, why wouldn't you want a boxing glove in a boat? But we got a driver, we'll keep that. Let's see. Spark plugs. Socket. Couple sockets. There's a few good things in here. Motorcycle plate. Don't know what I'd need that for, but why not? Looks like some treated screws. More spark plugs. Shoe, boot, and bag conditioner. Okay. Safety glasses. There's a bunch of just miscellaneous stuff in here. Trailer wiring plug. Rubber paste. It looks unopened. Okay. What an eclectic grouping of miscellaneous stuff. Not high-end tools, certainly, but my kids love to play with tools, and not always do they make it back to where they're supposed to be. So inexpensive hand tools like that are perfect for them. I want to salvage some of these screws that I'm seeing because they're nice treated screws. They're going to turn out nice for a deer stand project I have in mind. So there's a whole bucket full of miscellaneous tools. And spark plugs. On this side, we've got floating cushion, cheapo, yeah, that's shredded. Just forget about that one. And an anchor with chain. Now this line's pretty well shot, it looks like. But chain is really nice to have with anchors because you need it around here. And that is a nice piece. If you go up to Tractor Supply or Home Depot or wherever you want to buy your chain at, that stuff's probably, yeah, I don't know, at least $2 a foot probably. And that's 6-7 foot, so that's a good find. And then let's see, nothing else worth talking about in there. All right, so now on to scrap aluminum. We're gonna try to take the windshields off, and we'll see if the outer rub rail is riveted on or if it's screwed. If it's screwed, we can take her off. So on a lot of these, there's a little piece of plastic running right through here. All it does is cover up the, it's sometimes easier to come at the end. They're tight in there sometimes, but what it's doing is covering up the screws that hold the windshield on. So you gotta find a spot to get at it. Normally one end or the other you can get a screwdriver in it. Or not. That's what I don't want to see happen. Makes it a lot harder. Well, let's go to the other side then. So it's this bottom piece here. A little piece of plastic. Once you can get it worked out, like so, it exposes all of the screw heads holding it on down the line, allowing us to get this off, and then we can take the channel off and save the aluminum channel. So we're going to unscrew what we can. Now these normally are somewhat modular, but normally it's modular going the other way. So with that busted window, we're going to have some trouble. But take these screws off, It's generally one in each corner. Generally allows you to get the piece of channel off like that. And then there's just a piece of rubber gasketing in the middle and aluminum. When it works decently. There's a couple dollars in aluminum in here. Now these stainless steel screws like that love to strip though too. Like I've now stripped that one and a couple on this side, making it much harder to get apart. Honestly, these are worth trying to do because there's $4 or $5 in aluminum here. But if you strip all the screws out, like I just did on that one, it's not worth messing around with it and spending 20 or 30 minutes trying to get busted screws out or drill them out or anything like that for $3 or $4 of aluminum. I don't mind picking up aluminum when I can get at it, but I'm not gonna spend all day here trying to get a couple dollars of aluminum off a boat. I'll see if I can keep taking this piece off. Yep, this one's just gonna be stuck in place, I think. All right, that's as far as we're gonna go with this. Everything's just stripping. Onto the rub rail. Most all boats have this little cover, aluminum or stainless on the back, holding it in place. Now let's see. Is it riveted or is it gonna be screwed? Rivets, and a lot of them. Again, the only way to get these off is going to be to drill them out. Otherwise, you get left with little thin aluminum straws, if you will, because of the heads normally come off with 1/4 inch or more a piece of aluminum behind it, the rivet head, and that gets stuck in tires, and that's a bad day. It's not worth risking a tire for $5 or $10 in aluminum. If I have time, I can come back and drill it, but these are riveted quite regularly through here. It'll take me a while to get at that. So now I'm going to clean up my tools, get the truck, take her to the landfill. Since my brakes still aren't fixed on my truck yet, I'm going to swap this off for the roller trailer that the other one was on. I'm just going to pull this off, swap out trailers. the hair came on. Well, sometimes they go smoother than that. Other times not as much. It was going pretty smoothly until the tractor got it a little kinked and then it kind of went sideways, but whatever. Now we can unhook the chain and have it ready for the landfill. So here's what the trailer looks like currently. Pretty dirty. It's not going to sell as well when it looks this bad. So we're going to get the power washer out. Now let's do the seats. These seats definitely need a power wash. Well, they sure look a whole lot nicer. Trailer and the seats. Now, the seats, as I'm power washing though, I recognize they got a tear here, and the other one's got a tear in the seat. They probably won't sell for much, but that's okay. I just picked up something really neat for my kids. These will work perfect on it. That I'll show in another episode. It's gonna be pretty cool. So before I end this video, I want to take a quick look and see if I can get this thing started. I have no idea. I've not even done anything but roll it over. So I'm going to drain the old gas out, put some fresh gas in, and just see if she fires. Or if I want to have to dig into it a little further. So I'm going to start with the gas, because she smells really old. So I'm hoping that I can just drain some of this old gas out. Interesting, based on the color, it looks an awful lot like it's got like two-stroke oil in it, but this is going to be a four-stroke motor. Strange. Alrighty, that ought to do it. Alright, now for some fresh gas. Now, I'm fond of seafoam treatment. I've had a really good success in the past at having it clean up old carbs. So I'm going to put a little of that in the tank first. Little fresh gasoline. Let's just see. What do you guys think? Think she's going to fire up? Or is she going to need a lot more work? I'm going to even plug her in and see if I get the power start going. Alright, so throttle up. That should be full choke. Let's see what we get. Well, here's a primer. So what, 10 pumps? Let's try that. Cranks are fine. Let's give her a few more primer pumps. Let's see what happens. Ah, she seems like she wants to fire. So I do have the fuel on, right? Yep, that's on. Man, she sounds like she wants to. And I want her to. So, I'm going to try something else. Hold on a minute. So the spark plug looks okay. I'm just going to give her a quick little shot of starter fluid. Just see if that fires it off. I mean, if I have to end up going ahead and tearing apart the carbs or something, oh well. I'm just really curious to see if I can get it to start without that, because she definitely seems like she wants to start. Man, it popped there for just a second on the starter fluid. Let me see where the air box is on this, where the air intake is, and maybe we can go that route. Alright, so I just put some more ether in the carb. Let's see what we got. She's a runner! and the smoker. All right, so she does run on the old starter fluid, but that's it. So I don't know. There's probably something going on in here. The primer bulb doesn't seem like it's really priming all that much. Like I got an air leak in here somewhere. Success! Aha! She runs! She runs! Alright, you guys tell me, is it moving? Is she spinning? Yes! The power shoot control? Well, that's awesome. We got a running snowblower for $100 in July. I mean, it's August now, but I bought it in July. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. And I hope all your projects go as well as that.